Hello, we are welcome all. Welcome to the top 30 for movies. That's it. The best from the best. I will share and break down each 10 from all so that you'll know where you are. Let's get on with the show. So before we get started and underway with today's top 30 best movies, and you like this topic, well, make sure you hit that like, much appreciate, and subscribe. We'll hit that notification and we'll do my best to get as many latest episodes I can get out and share them well all here on the BJ show. So now that's out of the way. Let's get on and let's get it started. Let's begin with the first top 10 out of 30 movies. What are my favourite movies? Now, there were so many great movies which are hard to pick from 30 to first. Now, if you know me really, really well, you know my favourite movie, and it's one of the greatest, I think, icon movies since I was born to watch this movie. And there's a little story to it, but I won't go too much detail. So I want to give you the 30th one, and that's where we're going to start off. And The Road to Dorado. This movie is a cartoon animation movie, and they are from Spain. So the favourite. There's a few that they went to this island and they want to get gold. There's a bit of history about gold back in the 1800s, and yeah, it's a pretty classic comedy movie, and yeah, so that is my 30th movie. The next movie is Paddington, a mother fictional movie. This movie is a bear did not have a family, went to England, in Europe. So he's from a Tibble Island. So he has these, a type of orange. He actually so clever to make. There is 3 parts of this movie. That movie I'm going to share is he went to kind of jail. He was in prison from one of the movies. They made these sandwiches to make everyone happy. To make, when a bear stares, he tells that he forgot their manners. It's a classic comedy movie, and that's why I chose 29th Paddington. Now, this movie should be clearly in my lot lower than that. But Mr. Bean movies. Now, he only made 2 movies. Mr. Bean, which he came as a Dr. Bean about art in America. He had to fly from England to be a Dr. Bean. He did not know anything about art, but the personality of being beaten to be a doctor was completely wrong. He went on a little vacation to enjoy. There's a bit more to it, but I think the end movie where it was trying to choose his kids and his family over a fella from England, which crosses amazing into a comment. That's why Mr. Bean movies. This was holiday one. He went, he didn't know anything to do with funds. He did not really speak French, but the way he direct into his dream to go to the beach, he went on a really unusual holiday. Actually, did not know he had a child too. He looked like he was stolen with a child, and when he misses his train, he forgot his luggage as well, his passport, and the classic wallet. So, and he faints. And then he had to look after a child, and then he got kicked off of a train from the ticket holder. So that's why Mr. Bean movies are in 28th. We now come to the Disney classic Aladdin, the cartoon Robbie Williams classic. Now, why did I choose? Now, I didn't really like growing up with Aladdin, and I got to say, it's been one of my interesting top 30 movie in 2017 is Aladdin. Now, I didn't mind Will Smith playing Aladdin. I think he had the right idea to being a fella can totally play Aladdin. Great fella, but I think the cartoon really brings back so much memories. So, found out I chose Aladdin. There's some really, really good. He changes some different kind of characters. Aladdin turns into something he was not, Prince Ali. So there you have it with 27th Aladdin. We come to Cheetah by a Dozen in 26. Now, before like Steve Martin, there's a bunch of 12 famous actors and actresses wins. There is so many much about Cheetah by a Dozen. Now, the first one was Iron Weddick that 12 kids live in a house. One found a partner and found a partner. Yeah, it's ironic, absolutely ironic for this movie. And yeah, it's what do I choose about Cheetah by a Dozen? It was a storyline. It was a book that Kate wanted. The mum played Kate, the character was about a book about 12 kids. How did they raise? She went to New York. This is talking about the first one, then I'll talk about the second. So then Tom said, I'll take care, no problems. So they had one of their daughters marry a fella who wants to be an actor, did not like kids. You know, the parents have to accept who he was. They hate. And the kids, all of them, absolutely dislike the Nora. It's one of the older daughters to do that. So I really, and it's a comedy. They had, we come to the second movie and they went on a lake with a fella whose neighbours that they used to visit each other when they're all little kids and come back many years later. Classic comedy. Both neighbours just dislike each other in the later day cup, which is like later day in Adelaide or around Australia. But they had in the movie that tip of cup and they had to go through a lake. Now, it's like a family event to come together and they come together as families to play and have some fun. But I think, it's amazing. So, and it's a bit of a classic. I haven't watched the movie for a long time. And that's why I chose Cheetah by a Dozen in 26. We come to the 25th. We 5 movies in. Lesbian Lansbury, the classic Bedknobs and Broomsticks is my 25th movie. And can I say right now, what can I say about this movie? It was about the war back in the 1950s. Let me share when this movie came out. So right on my screen. So this film was filmed in the 1970s, and well, if I can record this, I'm going to say this. This is the 55th year since this movie was filmed, and what I like about Bedknobs and Broomsticks is, well, it's just an incredible movie. So, what can I relate to this movie being a classic, being some famous, like I said, Lasby, who got in Wank Hill, Rod Snart, David Tomlinson. He plays the Professor Brown character. He's been in so many other movies, which I'm going to be sharing some point very soon. Is he got a mother in my top 30? Does he get a mother peak in this movies? But getting back to this movie I'm showing in 25th, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Miss Price. It's the main man, had to take care of these 3 children from England. And this bed was magic. Miss Price was trained to be a witch. And, there was a very interesting stage of the film. So that's why I chose this movie, Bedknobs and Broomsticks in 25th. Toy Story, amazing, you have a friend in me. And what can I relate it to Bedknobs from now Toy Story? The cartoon with Tom Hanks and the famous Tim Allen comes and plays together. 5 films later, which movie do I like? Which are the Toy Story movies I have seen? I've only seen the 3 movies in a massive way. I really haven't connected in the 4th movie, with the 5th one coming out, which is incredible. But I have to say the first 2. Now, why did I put Toy Story in my favourite movies? Now, that it is in my 24th because it is a childhood memory, and I am more than anything proud to see. I like the first 2. One, it's when Woody was famous in the second movie, we'll share in a moment. I think in a lot of ways that Woody leads the toys. You know, when Buzz came in for Annie's birthday, the young kid absolutely loved cowboys, and into a Buzz Lightyear many years later, or few months later, the scene changes from being a hero. And I really think that I choose Toy Story 2 and the first one. They're perfect movies because Buzz learns about a mother toy, Woody, about how to look after Annie and how Annie plays with the toys. And that's the kind of storyline that comes with, when Woody misses out going to cowboy camp with Annie. And that was an emotional dream that Woody says, and he found another toy that all toys were going on a yard sale and when are not working and all that. So it's a lot of things than that. But yeah. All right, we come now to The Lion King. What Lion King I'm talking about? That cartoon and the animation, they all come joined together. I wish to be a king, to be a kid, to being from over all. So what can I relate to amazing about Lion King is they live on a private rock. There's some classic movies, characters in this. There is a meerkat, there is a pig. They found Simba on a desert island. Then all these years later, he returns and be the king. So that's a bit of why it's called The Lion King. I love Can You Feel the Love Tonight? There's so many relations to that. So that's why I chose 23rd is The Lion King. The Greatest Showman comes 22. I wish this was in my top 10. Clearly wasn't. It's not this one. But guess it changed? We'll find out another time. We'll be maybe later in the year. But getting focused on this one, The Greatest Showman, the Hugh Jackman, Zach Alvin. What classic movie then this film took over almost a decade to make a film based on true stories. This movie is about a circus. Now, have you seen the film? Great. It is worth seeing if you have not seen the movie. I personally think this movie is one of the greatest I've ever seen under Hugh Jackman. A lot of dancing, a lot of circuit skills in this film with Zach Alvin as well taking over the role of the character of it. There's a bit more to it. It's a lot of history. It's a lot of, what set was back in the 1800s, what was the costume was like back then, they dancing. It's just incredible. I think that one of my favorites. When I saw this movie, I thought I was there. I was definitely watching like I was watching a live show for 2.5 hours. It's a long movie. It is a storyline. It is worth watching. Go and see it. And you can watch it on String Actions. That's right, The Greatest Showman, and hopefully you can see it. So before we get in my 21st, well, let's get on with it, and then we get halfway point. We do have to hit the halfway mark. So the Internship. Now, this movie with some classic actors in this film, and why do I chose the Internship? Yeah, it's quite the interesting classic movies, and I can't relate to anything but a drama comedy movie. Now, this film was back in 2013, 12 years in time, with a couple famous actresses, means Vince Lawrence and Jared Strang. That's the name of few. Now, these two totally came one of my favorite movies to watch. These two were in a job in business together and they were doing so great. Then it comes to come together. And it comes together from they went to Google. And the Google characters, there's some great actresses in there, but I'll focus on what the movie is about. So the movie's about Google. They go to California to see if they can get an internship to get a job at Google. And they have to work together, which is like cottage. They have to, it's about talking together. Then they have to fold solves and about advertising. And the big manager from Google was an incredible classic. They're doing a yes and no. And one of the scenes says, take food from the office. And no. A classic. There was about a couple of questions in that scene. Absolutely amazing. Cracking up laughing. But that's where I'm going to call it for now. But what do you think? Do you like these movies so far? You like this episode from today? Would like to get 100 likes. So make sure you like down below and as well subscribe as well. We now come to the first puzzle complete. Let's now get to the second half. We go from 20 to 10. All right, let's get into the next 10. And here we go from the best movies in my thoughts. So in 20th is Mrs. Brown Boys, the movie. You know the TV series? Well, stay tuned for that. Why that is one of my favourite TV shows. Not for children to watch, but totally adult sense of humour movie. This movie was found in a market scene with Angus Mrs. Brown Boys that it's played for famous actor Conan O'Neill. Brandon O'Connor. And he's the main part of plays Agnes Brown. So what can I relate to this from the TV show movie? So he plays two different characters from all of them from mystery into a loving mother. Goes to court and absolutely saves them from being from court. So amazing in a lot of ways. So what can I call absolute this movie? It's a classic comedy. It's a bit of a musical scene as well. There's singing, there's dancing, and as well, there's action. So that's why I call Mrs. Brown Boys the movie in 20th. In 19th, we continue on. The 2007 John Travolta comes in my Hairspray moment. There is maybe a back-to-back John Travolta. Well, who does not like John Travolta? I absolutely enjoy his movie. He played the mother from Hairspray, the 2007 film. Did not leave the house back in the 50s. Then they go to the 60s. It's been a long time leaving the house, doing a housewife role, and my goodness, he played fantastic playing the mother of Hairspray 2007 version. There is Zach Alvin, the teenager pop star from a TV show back in the 1950s. So what do I think? From Hairspray. So I love that movie. I haven't watched it for a while. Should go back and watch it again because it's the absolute classic musical movie. Grease Lightning comes in. Grease the movie is the next one. Who does not like Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta? Come there's Danny and Sandy comes in next. I've seen the live show. I've seen the musical. I've seen the movie. It's absolutely a Grease Lightning classic comedy musical. Why this is in 18th? I think it's a perfect spot to be in at. So again to Dirty Dancing in 18th to 17th. That's it. The classic Swayze's swinging the night away, teaching a young girl. He's under 18. He's only sweet 16. That's it, baby. The character. Teaching from a famous dancer, Time of My Life. Now, this is a bit of drama, bit of comedy, a bit of action, a bit of love connection. There's a bit of everything. Why Dirty Dancing 17th? Because I just feel like I've never seen the movie after watching the musical. I never watched the movie before the musical ever. I've never done that before, and I absolutely love it. But interesting fact, I watched the movie before seeing this musical stage performance. So that's why I chose Dirty Dancing in 17th. 16th, we come almost one step closer to a top 10, Beauty and the Beast. Now, there is both versions of what both films mean to me. There is good sides, there's bad sides. It's a musical, yeah. So what's my favourite part is when the Beast turns into a really nice person. He was originally a beast. He turns into got a spell, asked this nasty person to leave, and unfortunately did not went to plan. So why do I choose this as my 16th? It's beauty, it's beats, it's love, it's singing, it's dancing. So 15th, Space Jam musical cartoons come with Michael Jordan. That's the version I want. The 1990 version, or whenever. I think it was 95 in top of my head. And, wow, what do I think of Michael Jordan when Bugs Bunny said, "You're a cartoon. You are not real. If I'm not real, Bugs Bunny just kissed Michael Jordan. Absolute classic. Monsters versus those monsters aliens into superstars, into monster stars, take on the Looney Tunes. Now, there is classics, there is comedies, there is just really a lot of fun from this animation movie. So, Space Jam 15, 14th, Pocahontas, Disney classic. You can't go wrong to the original Pocahontas, which this film was back in the 1995 era. So, my favourite song is Colours of the Wind. Now, this movie's about, the bads, the goods, and all about the protection from others. There's a bit more to it. Now, I do enjoy watching this movie when I'm not overly that great. I do put this in my 14th place. It makes me feel better. And yeah, so I am now going to put in my next one in 13th, The Mighty Ducks. They had a TV series which I didn't put him in really not my greatest in top 20. It's unusual, but they got rid of it off Disney Plus. Now, if you ever heard The Mighty Ducks, what a classic movie this is. Now, I like the first one because it's about champions. It's about taking on the best from the best and being smart about it. What I like about the second movie, they went international level for juniors hockey competition, take on the best Iceland team. And then third, they learn about teamwork. Why teamwork? Because it's high school hockey. And they're talking about how to play fence. That's what it was about. Teamwork and defense. And it's not just about winning goals and all of that from high school hockey. Very different competitive to juniors level. So that's my 13th, The Mighty Ducks. Now we go back to the cartoon movie, 101 Dalmatians. That cartoon film. What do I like about this? It's so much. It's about raising puppies. It's about raising so much awareness to find this movie in 12th place. We are 2 away from the top 10. Who are they? We'll find out very soon. But I think when the puppies got stolen, then the two big dogs, they come and rescue them, and the parents had no idea. And it was Christmas time, and they all came 101 dogs all in one motion, all in one house. So yeah, well, they did come. This is interesting. The Hangover movies. This was getting married. Let's do a fun party for our friend. And oh my goodness, a classic hangover. Which one do I like? I like the first two, but I don't really all remember how the Hangover movies work and all that. So I'm going to keep us that. All right, here we are. The top 10 movies. That's driving. That's sound on music. What a Julie Andrews classic, which I can share right now. One of the best. She is just perfect for this role. She learned to be a nun. She had to take some space away to be a nun, to look after what they're known for governess, to look after the children. And so it was about discipline, but it was all about having fun. And they didn't know how the captain, as they know for in this movie, didn't know how to respond, did not know how all they behaved. They have to learn to be behaved, all about having a good time as well. So we come to the night, wax on, wax off, it's the original movies, The Karate Kid. What can I call the Karate Kid film? I like the first one where it was about just saying not just travel, but keeping in mindful of what is about to stand up for yourself, about fighting for yourself. So I don't mind this in my 9th place. It was about going to that, the Karate Kid, Daniel Driscoll, Danny Boy, as they known for. I think this was the perfect to be in my 9th. We come to Mary Poppins, Julie Andrews, art classic Disney movie. This thing, Dick Van Dyke. I had Chin Chin Bang Bang in the mix, but I couldn't resist Mary Poppins coming to town and being my, what you called 8th place. Now, it was a hard decision, but it was one of my favourites. They go through a story pattern of all about sweeping and making it all about fun. Then, their father from the movie saying, they need to have fun. Let's go fly a kite. That's one of my favourite songs. I have it on my playlist, actually. But that is eighth place, Mary Poppins. Now we come very, very close to top five. Cool Running starts off in my seventh. What do you think about Jamaica? Ben the boat sled in the Olympics. Well, the one of the classics movies. I love this one. You know, some of the lyrics, I love Jamaica, Jamaica, that's me. You know, that's just the name I for you, catchphrases, and the driver, and the breaker. Sunda, your dad, yeah man. To make it all one of my favourites. This should be one of my favourite top three movies, but Cool Runnings come there. But it was about having one of their famous runners to be just fainted at the end, almost reaching the top to make to the Olympics. So we come sixth place, Austin Powers. Mike Myers, classic Mike Myers. Yeah, baby. You can't say that Yeah, baby is a classic. So how can I resist Austin Powers? I love the first one. I love the second. I don't mind the third one, the Gold Member, but the first two is just classic. He's a spy. He's a mystery. He's got a half-break called Dr. Evil. You can't go wrong with Mike Myers playing Austin Powers. We come to the top five. We have made it. Now, I love Adam Sandler. You can't go rich past being a child to being an adult overnight. First up, in fifth is Billy Madison. The classic kid has to go past being into business. Was there his father to go and pass with the Billy Madison? Well, classic. He goes from primary school to kindergarten to primary school to middle school into high school. They do a quiz at the very end. The guy wants to take over the business, think he knew the business, and then an old fan apologizes and happy days. It's like the Benchwarmers quite feeling. So that was almost one of my top favourite movies. So I'll share that in just a moment. As I want to share that now, then we continue on. So Benchwarmers, what can I call about Benchwarmers? That movie's about kids it's about being, they didn't like the environment and they got picked on. Then miracles happen. Voila, they come together into building a stadium and they got all famous again. And all came best friends. So, Grown Ups. There's two films. I love the first one. And they're all-time classic Adam Sandler movies. The reason why I don't mind the second one. One goes to a pool and one goes to a camp. And it's about growing up together, four famous actors to play basketball, and they win a championship in the 1978 era in the movie. Then they did that in when they were all grown up, and the coach already hurt his arms prior. Classic movie. But I can't stand why they're having a famous movie growing up. But Happy Gilmore just released an era all these many years, 30 years later in the making of Happy Gilmore, famous of a golfer, the grandmother, and the clock as well. Their grandsons come into this film. What do I like about the original or like the now modern? I like both. There's two different sides of the storyline and it makes it perfect. That's how you make the new era movie. So, wow. What can I call it? I like the original Happy Gilmore. You can't go past from the past, but it's Shooter McGovern, the old nasty golfer to put him off. He shouldn't be a golfer. But then it comes to the modern. He was being, basically tricked on, and then he come to be a famous to help Happy Gilmore, to help him of what's happened. You've seen the movie, you know what I mean. I can't explain too much of these films, you got to watch it. But Happy Gilmore comes from a hockey player into a golfer. But that's a bit of an idea. But now, Big Daddy number 2. Who was first? Well, hit that like, subscribe, hit that notification. That's all I can say. If you like it, especially of this episode. But Big Daddy, what can I say about raising a child and a 5-year-old? Giving him so much sugar and being a father. Getting a McDonald's after hours and he gets really upset. The boy gets upset. I get absolutely classic Julian, young fella. Wow, it all comes happy. He couldn't be raising his kid. He raised him very differently. And the character of, from Happy Daddy, he was a very good father to raise. So, tomorrow, I love you, tomorrow. You have an idea or knock of life. We love you, Miss Hannigan. You have an idea, the Broadway classic Annie. That's what I call it. The original Annie. Don't mind the modern Annies. I don't mind them. I don't mind Annie too, but I love Annie, the original. One of the best musicals I think is the best. It's my favourite movie. That's right, Annie. This movie when I was born. My mum, when I came into this world, Annie was musical. The original movie came out, and that's why I love the movie. Well, that's it. Well, there you have it. We've finally done my top 30 movies. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoy it. Did you like these movies? And did you like this episode? Would love to get 100 likes as well, even more as well. Subscribe as well. Much appreciated. With more to come and some fun quizzes, safe and tune with some extra other episodes to come. We got our top, 10 songs/artists mixed together. We got our top 15 TV series as well to come. We've got the AFLW. We've got NBL 26 to come out. There's so much, fun other episodes to come as many more to. All right, thanks very much for listening. Catch you all later. BJ Show is out. Bye for now. Peace.